Welcome to another episode of Challenging the Boys. I am your host, Steven Chalico, and you can follow me and the show on Twitter at ChallyATB. And joined with me, thankfully, tonight are both of the co-hosts, Will and Stash. Gentlemen, are we ready for the big 1 p.m. start tomorrow against the
Oh,
Commanders? What was that? Fuck, flying like an
so I
eagle?
said Lego. Yeah,
Okay,
that's my excitement.
all right. I actually just hurt my shoulder on that. But,
Yeah.
He's doing the
yeah.
No,
angel chant.
Angels
Angels
in the
in the
outfield.
outfield. Yeah, there we
Yep.
go. Cowboys podcast, Angels in the
Ah,
outfield, whatever.
Classic. Yeah.
Okay, yeah. So we got a big rivalry matchup. As we all know, Cowboys, Commanders at the Cow. This is home, right? Actually, I don't even know. I should
Yes.
probably
No.
know
No.
that.
It
Yeah.
is
So Commanders
in
at
Jerry World.
Cowboys. Um, Stash. I guess
Not
we'll start with
not that it
you. What do
matters.
you? What do you? I guess what are your initial thoughts? What are your biggest matchups, or what are you thinking?
I mean, my initial thoughts are Dallas should win. It should be a very similar game to last week, where you're playing you're going into the game with your backup quarterback, playing a team with their starting quarterback, and I think you're expected to win the game.
Okay, I like it.
Just you're you're gonna ride your defense and just hope your offense can
Score some
make
points.
timely plays.
Okay. Yeah. I mean, I. All right. Will, what about you? Anything different than the vague statements of
Uh
Stash?
no. I think the Giants and the Commanders are really similar teams outside of the fact that on the outside, Commanders can make you pay, man. So
Yeah.
that's that. I mean, that's really the only difference. They both have bad offensive lines. I mean, Washington has a worse running back than the Giants, but they have actual playmakers on the outside, and if they can block even just a little bit, it could, you
It
might have a couple
could
of these
get
throws down
ugly.
a field where we just squeeze just a little bit, you
Yeah.
know.
Is it weird that I'm more worried about Carson Wentz than Daniel Jones just because I think he can make bigger plays than what Daniel Jones could make?
I think it's weird. I would be more concerned about Daniel Jones and Carson Wentz, but I would be more concerned about the Commanders than the Giants.
Yeah, the
If that's
weapons I think tilted. I think if they both had the same weapons, they just flip a coin. And I don't know.
Yeah, I mean the Commanders have. I mean they got three. I don't know, stud wide receivers and Dotson, McLaurin, and fucking Samuel.
Yeah.
I don't know. Yeah, maybe Samuel's
Here,
not a stud, but I mean they are three legitimate weapons that, like you said, could make you pay. They just
Jordan
got to
Lewis
get
is
him
gonna
the
eat
ball.
him alive, dude.
Who?
Jordan Lewis is gonna eat Samuel
Oh,
alive.
sure. You know, we've seen him. We have seen him do that before against, pretty much man on
Uh,
man against Alvin Kamara.
Kamara, yeah, that's what I was gonna say. Like, kind of, and that's he is a running back, and they just use him out of the slot, you know.
Yeah. Um, I think another thing I guess I would be concerned about, and maybe not concerned about is not the right word, but so I mean I think the defense is going to win this matchup again for us, like Sash had already said, pretty much like we saw
Yeah,
against the
yeah, yeah.
Giants. However, where the Commanders are weak in their offensive line is at the center, right? Like they're on their third string center. And so were the fucking Buccaneers when we played them. They were on their third string center, and there was no attempt to take advantage of that whatsoever. Now, obviously, we saw Parsons take advantage of the left tackle matchup, so that didn't matter so much. But like the Commanders are significantly weaker in the center again, like the Buccaneers, than they are on the outside. I would like to see them try to take advantage of the center, right? If
I,
they're not going to be able to get it on the outside for whatever reason.
I think the only difference though is that Tom Brady is not gonna allow that kind of tomfoolery to happen,
Tom
Yeah,
Brady's
I
one
mean,
of
yeah, I'm not
right?
comparing
yeah,
Wentz
he's one
and
of the quick he has that one of the
Brady.
quickest releases.
Yeah, he knows if he gets hit, he's dead, so he ain't gonna let himself get hit, right? But I think also maybe you guys know. I heard maybe it was Thursday that I think Leno has not practiced all week either. He's one of their tackles
I haven't
in
seen that, but
I
Washington. So I don't. I mean, that would be even. They already don't have a good offensive line, right?
right,
So
yeah,
if even another one of their players doesn't play, got to kind of like that.
yeah. I see right here he is listed as questionable right now, and that's
Okay.
as of Friday. So yeah, I mean that's not good. It's a bad day.
And I know that The other difference is Washington has big names on the defensive line. But man, like Chase Young is not. He's the one not playing, but they got 3 other first round picks on their front line, and Sweat hasn't lived up to it. I know that Payne is having a really good year. Like if you listen to DC Talk Radio, he's basically their best player on their team right now, Payne, and that's because Allen is he's playing, but he's hurt. Like that, he's got like a hamstring or a quad or something, but he's just playing through it because he's a tough dude. So that's like a good. That's something that I mean, this could be a big game. We might. I mean, Zeke and Pollard are going to be. They should be able to eat. You know.
We'll see. I
Yeah.
hope so.
Yeah.
I actually, so I guess since we kind of swung to offense, so I guess we should note that Gallup is supposed to be playing in this game. I haven't seen
Yeah.
anything about taking a snap count either. I'm sure he's not going to take 50, 60 snaps, but again, I haven't seen anything say he's not a snap count, so I would expect him to take 30,
I heard,
half the load
I
or whatever.
heard, yeah, I heard later in the week that he was supposed to play last week, but it was his call not to play. Like he wasn't there mentally.
Okay. Yeah,
That's
I
what,
hadn't heard that, but I mean,
I think that's great though.
sure.
Not that he wasn't there mentally, but that one, they at least trusted him, or two, he at least spoke up, man, because we would have been devastated as fans that they get him out there like a week or two early, whatever, and then he goes pops a,
The
you
other
know,
ACL or something.
yeah, you know what I mean, or what, it just has some kind of injury because he's just favoring it a little, you know what I mean, and that would have been we would have been livid.
Hmm.
So that's a good thing that I mean, it could still happen, but it's
Right.
nice
Yeah,
that
it would suck to find out like if he unfortunately got hurt again, and then to find out that he actually pushed back on playing. Right. Like if we found out that he pushed back on playing, and
yeah, yeah.
I don't know how much they could make him play, whatever. I don't really know how that works,
yeah,
but
like how
that would be
like
shitty.
how devastating would it have been if like Dallas put him out there anyways, even though he didn't want to play, and then he got hurt.
I
Yeah.
feel like that's what I just said.
Yeah, I'm
Maybe
just
not.
saying it's good that they allowed him to do that.
Yeah.
Like just like him say to listen to him and, instead of forcing him out there, especially since they're not very deep at wide receiver.
I mean, that's like the one huge difference. Not the one huge, but it's like the biggest. It's a big difference between. Not that Garrett didn't care about the players, but that's like McCarthy's
McCar-
number one thing is like
Yeah.
the mental, aspect of the game is he's really all about giving them what they want, I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't think he gets.
Players coach kind of deal, if you will.
McCarthy doesn't get a lot of credit for that, right? Like a lot of people bash him, and I guess you really could go either way on this. Bash him for being more of a game manager, if you will, than an actual head coach who's making decisions, right? Because he's not calling the offensive plays, at least that we know, or he hasn't been. But him putting the trust in somebody like Michael Gallup, like, all right, man, you don't want to play, like, okay, like we got to trust that decision. Like that's a that's a big boy decision, not just for Michael Gallup, but for Mike McCarthy not to, I'm sure he had to be the one to go tell Jerry Jones, like, hey, look, Gallup's not going this week, and I'm sure Jerry Jones is like, I got fucking 20 million on this dude, like, he better be playing, like, so
Yeah.
I'm sure there was an awkward conversation, and just McCarthy doesn't get enough credit for that kind of stuff, probably because we don't see it a lot. It is pretty hard to see, and it doesn't happen often, but um, he does deserve that credit. Um, Okay, any other significant matchups you guys care about, want to talk about, don't care about? We can jump right, like if that's all you got, we can just jump right into a prediction. Bold takes, you got any bold takes or something? Hit me.
Can I just? Oh, go ahead, Sash. You go first. All right.
I mean, I'm like I said earlier about. I mean, I'm a little, and we talked about it, worried about how our secondary does against their wide receivers.
Yeah.
Especially since, like I said, with Carson Wentz, I mean, he can throw the ball. His arm is talented. It's just where he's at mentally and him making decisions.
Yeah.
But like he already has a couple 300-yard passing games this year. He's not afraid to let it rip. So, and as you said, they got Samuel, Dotson, Scary Terry.
Yo,
And I
think it's
Logan Thomas too.
I think it's going to be a tough matchup for the secondary.
Yeah, and I think it's not going to be because of the pass rush, right? Like, so if Carson Wentz goes off for 300 yards, it's not because the pass rush wasn't there. It's going to be because he was able to just think, luckily get the ball out, and somebody missed a fucking tackle in the secondary, right? Like, which unfortunately the Cowboys are infamous for, just missing open field
I mean,
tackles.
he's gonna gunsling it around. He might have 3 touchdowns, but he might give you 2 or 3 as well. It's just Dallas is all depends on where they get those interceptions and can the offense capitalize and score touchdowns when he does give it to you. 'Cause I think it's going to be a little bit more of a test for the Dallas defense this week.
Yeah, I wonder if we see less of I mean, we haven't really seen a 5-man rush all that much, right? Like when Parsons has been blitzing, I guess he really hasn't been blitzing because he's been on the defensive line. But so I wonder if this is a game where we even see less and just let that linebacker drop into coverage and just be an extra body in zone or whatever be in the secondary.
That's what I was going to say is that they may pass rush less with 5 or even not sending a different guy, but not having an extra linebacker on the field, but having an extra safety or I guess or corner, I guess, or whatever.
I was thinking just more. You want to just get there. You want to send as many people as you want because Wentz is notorious for holding on to the ball. Like if it's not there right away, he's not gonna just throw it away. He's gonna hold on, hold, and try to make a play, and that's where he gets into trouble.
Yeah, I don't think
would
you're
try
wrong.
to get there as early as possible with my pass rush, just because he's not going to get rid of it. He's going to sit there and wait. And
so I would see it as, I mean, you're going to rush with 4. Dallas has an elite pass rush. They have the best pass rush in the league, at least when it comes to sacks, right? Like, so they're going to be effective rushing 4, especially against a beat up offensive line. I mean, I'm sure there's going to be occasions where they bring 6, right? Like we have seen that. I don't think they'll steer away from that, but I think that Dan Quinn's also smart enough to know that his secondary is not big at solo tackles. I don't know how often he's going to want to put Trayvon Diggs on an island out there against any of their receivers. We'll see though.
Yeah,
I think either way can and probably will work.
Yeah, I think I'm right there with you. I'm not worried about the pass rush. I'm just worried about, like I said, the secondary. Can they stay on their men long enough so that the pass rush can get there? Because we know Carson's gonna wait, hold and wait to make and give his receivers as much time as they can to get open.
Yeah, I wonder actually now that we're mentioning linebackers, I wonder if this is going to be a game where we see more of Jabrill Cox, right? Because I think, or I'm pretty sure he can move laterally faster than Anthony Barr can.
I'm sure at this point, yeah.
Well, yeah, at this point. But so I could see Washington having success, or at least trying to have success in the passing game by, of course, setting up the run. Like I'm not saying anything news shattering there, but I mean they haven't been able to run the ball yet effectively this year.
He has 60. Gibson has 67 running yards or something, right? Like that so far.
Yeah, they don't run it a lot.
Yeah, I mean their best guy got shot. So.
No, I mean he did get shot, but I mean he wasn't going to be their starter early in the season. I mean they're now talking about now because how Gibson hasn't been doing, but man, they don't have an offensive line either, though. Man, let's be real. It's really hard to.
We are going to see that a lot against Dallas. Teams are going to just probably try and get a couple more rushes in to just try and slow down the pass rush. I don't think it's going to work, but with Jabrill Cox off of the injury report, I think actually all week. Hopefully that's an indication he'll get some defensive snaps. I think he only got a handful of special team snaps last week.
Is Ridgeway going to dress
for Washington?
Ooh, that's a good question.
I didn't even think about this. Did he play last week or is he on the practice squad? No, because they claimed him, right? So
he's not on the practice squad. So.
I
don't know. That's a good question. I assume he will, right?
Their defensive line? I don't think so.
Well, I mean, that's why they claimed him though, because they have the injury to Allen, but then also I know one of their ends and one of their other defensive tackles are hurt. That's why they claimed him, not because they needed him for skill, but they actually needed a dude to be able to, I guess, dress or cover them if they need.
We'll see if he played last week.
Yeah. By the way, Stash, where do you go to find the snap counts and stuff like that? Are you just googling fucking snap counts for so and so, or?
Oh, I get him off Twitter, Dallas Twitter. So
Interesting.
He's got the knowledge, baby.
I'm just not a
Michael
Twitter
Gelkin, to
professional, I
be
guess.
specific.
Michael.
Michael Gelkin.
Yep, Gelkin.
Okay. What about? What about? Will, do you have anything else?
I was
Anything
going
you
to say
want to touch on or
Schultz is
whatever?
going to play too. What do you guys think about?
Okay.
What do you think about having 3 tight ends on the field and trying to run out of that too? Not on the goal line. I'm talking about specific, just anywhere on the field, just to get the extra. Because they like the way Ferguson and Hendershot play, and they're not going to
So
not play Schultz if he comes, if he's healthy,
they
right?
had a package. I think
A couple
Stash
times, yeah.
sent it to us where they had the 2 rookie tight ends on the left side with Tyler Smith, which is pretty cool to see the 3 rookie guys, sealing off a wall on the other
Lined
side.
up, yeah.
I don't know. I couldn't really see them putting all 3 tight ends on the field and calling a run, right? Like maybe they check,
Yeah.
maybe Cooper Rush checks into a run. Yeah. I mean, it would be interesting to see. I would say though, no, if we're gonna put a 12 pack on it, I don't think we see that this week.
Not even once.
I don't think this week. No, I would be willing to put a 12 pack on that. There will not be 3 tight ends,
Okay.
Hendershot, Schultz, and Ferguson
all.
on the field at once, and there will be a run.
I'll take that action.
So I got a question for you, just because
Okay.
it's come close recently.
Okay.
Does Turpin finally score?
No.
Man, the Commanders' special teams is bad too, man.
Hey, he's gotten a 20 and a 30-yard return in the past 2 games. So
Yeah, I'm gonna say no too, and because for one reason is that they're not gonna need, or they're gonna need that against the Rams or the Eagles or something, and that's when he's gonna come up with just a big play to change it.
okay.
Yeah, I mean, I would allow that. Sure.
But it's coming though. You're not wrong, dude. This shit's coming.
It's no Devin Hester.
I know.
Okay, I guess we'll just jump into predictions. Stash, what do you got for a win and score, and any other detail you feel like sharing?
Yo, and give one bold prediction too. Let's start doing that.
I've been asking and nobody's been saying anything.
Well, right. Okay. We're starting tonight.
I got Dallas winning 24-17.
Okay.
Oh man.
My bold prediction is pick 6, Trayvon Diggs.
Okay.
I already said my bold prediction during the week that Lewis was going to come on a blitz and knock the ball out, and Brown was going to pick it up and walk it into the end zone. Do I have to give something else other than that, or can that be my pick of the week?
That could be your one, I guess. I mean, if you have something else, feel free. I mean, I'll take all the wild predictions you got, I guess.
I'm picking the Cowboys to win too. If I'm being 100% honest, I was going to pick the same score Josh picked, but since we don't play that game, I'll say, Brad Maher gets involved 27-17. Okay. And I do got one more for you if you want. I'll say that they will have less sacks than they had last week. They had 5 last week, right? But that they will definitely have 3 turnovers.
Okay. I'm also going to take
not 4. I didn't say anything about 4. I said 3.
Yeah, we heard 3.
Okay.
I heard 3. I guess I can't speak for Stash, but so I am also going to take the Cowboys in a win with the score of 21-20.
Ooh.
And they're going to win on a Cooper Rush to CeeDee Lamb on a fourth quarter game-winning drive.
Ooh.
You know what happens? I think I heard this earlier in a different podcast. If Dallas wins this week, Cooper Rush becomes the first ever Dallas quarterback to start 4-0.
Hmm.
All right, so I'm going to change my prediction to the Commanders winning. Then. Just kidding. Just kidding.
True. History is not on our on our side.
I mean,
That's a good stat. That's a real good stat.
Sash, you still standing by Dak, or if they win, and he's the first quarterback to ever go 4-0?
Yeah, I mean,
He's the greatest quarterback in
as,
fucking Cowboys history.
as much as Will's standing by Tyron Smith.
Okay, fair enough. By the way,
I like that.
what is your background, Stash? Looks like a fucking war zone or something. I mean, not really a war zone, but
I have no idea. It's the
okay.
big background. So
Got it. All right.
Backward.
Let's sign it off there. We'll
Oh,
give it-
also, hold on, real quick.
oh.
Stephen Jones did say that Tyron Smith is coming back this year too, by the way. So
He also said that they spend their money in free agency.
you have to spend it where it's needed. I'm just letting you know. That's all.
Jerry
So,
also said they chose not to sign Randy Gregory too.
they did.
They made him an offer.
Yeah, the offer Denver
Oh
matched
my
it,
God.
and they decided that they didn't want to match Denver's match of their match.
How's he
Right?
doing this year, by the way? I don't follow
He's
that
pretty
kind of
good
shit.
actually.
It's dog shit.
I mean, how many sacks does he have? That's what matters.
Less than Dorrance Armstrong.
Yeah, but he also has 2 forced fumbles.
Hey.
Yeah, but how? Well, they're 2-1. Never mind. I was say how many wins they have, but
Same record as Dallas.
yep, true. All right, we'll sign us off with Wild Boys.
Hey.